Hello. So as I said, the next video I'll summarize the data type and constraint, the three constraints which we have learned. So, so as you can see, this is a table, right? In which we have employee ID, employee name, date of joining, age of the employee, phone number, and the salary. So this is our employee table. Now, while creating an employee table, what all things we have to, how we can validate our data? This is our data, right? This is our data. This complete employee table is our data. So how we can validate? As EF code set by using the data type, and second is constraint by using the constraint. Okay. Now, while assigning an employee ID, first of all, what type of column is our employee ID should be according to, if we want to decide. It can be a char also, right? It can be a varchar also. So what we gonna do is we'll keep it as a char. Why? Because we know if we are using char, the memory allocation is fixed length, and of course, once our employee ID is assigned to our employee, it won't change, right? Okay, so we always have to give a parameter which is a size, so I'll assign it as a 15. Okay, so in this line, we'll assign all the data types, and here the constraint will decide what all constraint we want. Char. Employee name, I want, since employee name can be changed, right? So I want it as a varchar. Okay, now date of joining, of course, it's a date, right? Age, we can keep it as a number. When you're using a number, you have to give a precision. In our case, I'll give a 3 since it's a age, right? Oh, and next is phone number. Similarly, my phone number column is of number data type, and I'm giving a value, and the number and the value assigned in the phone number column should not exceed 11 characters. Okay, now salary same as a number, and here also I'll give a 10. Okay, now what will constraint we can give to employee ID? I want my employee ID should be unique, right? For that, I give a unique. Next thing, what I don't want null value in my employee ID, so I give a one more constraint which is a null. And these are the two things I want to give in my employee ID column as a constraint. Now for employee name, what I want unique can't be given as employee name, right? If suppose you're creating a table, right? If you're creating a table, more than one person can have same name, right? Like Kinjal is my name. One more person can have their name as a Kinjal, right? So it doesn't make any sense to keep the employee name as a unique. But what we can do, we will keep it as a not null. Okay, because I don't want my employee column to be null. Then coming to date. Okay, so date also I want not null. I want in every record I want a date of joining, so I'll keep it as a non null. And also we can do a unique here, right? There might be the possibility, right? Two employees are joining in the same date, so keeping it as a unique doesn't make any sense. Now the age. For age, let us keep it as a, I'm not adding any constraint to age column. Okay, now in phone number I'll add a check constraint. Okay, what is a check constraint? Condition, right? This is the syntax of check constraint, right? But what should be the condition here? That my length of phone number should be less than equal to 10. Okay, now coming to salary. Salary is also I'll assign as a not null, and unique, giving a unique constraint here doesn't make any sense, right? Because two people can have same salary, more than one people can have same salary. But here also I can give a check if I want. Right now I'm not giving it, and here also I can give a check, right, for age, that the employee should uh, age the employee age should be greater than 18. Okay, I'm not gonna employ the people who are less than whose age are less than 18. Okay, so these are the data type I have given to a table. Now suppose I want to insert a new value here which is 101 again. What it will do? It will definitely throw me an error, right? It will definitely throw me an error. Why? Because my employee ID is need to be unique, and right, need to be unique, and here also it will throw me an error. Why? Because as I said, I have added a constraint with the data type is that it should be not null. So it is a null value, which will throw me an error. Okay. Now, employee name. No, I have given a not null. Now, suppose I remove a employee name, there's a null value here in the employee name. This will again throw me an error while inserting. Similarly, here, if I remove one of the date, this is this will throw me an error, and it won't allow me to keep the value inserted here as a null. Why? Because I have mentioned a constraint which is not null. Now, coming to age, here what will happen if I said 3 4 ages are not present, it's a null. It won't throw me an error. Why? Because I haven't set a constraint here that it should always keep a value. Because have I mentioned here not null as a check constraint, as a constraint? No. So what it will do, it won't throw me an error. But suppose I added a value here as a 17, this will throw me an error. Why? Because my check constraint says that employee who is less than 18 should be employed, right? Now again, now suppose I added a number whose length is more than 10. So this particular record will throw me an error and it won't allow me. Now suppose if I remove a phone number, now suppose a record doesn't have a phone number, so this won't throw me an error, right? Why? Because I haven't mentioned a check constraint, I haven't mentioned a constraint not null. Suppose if I mentioned a constraint here as a not null, this will also give me an error. Okay. So since in salary column I have mentioned a constraint as not null, so if one of my record doesn't have a salary, this will throw me an error. Simple. Whenever we assign a constraint as unique and not null, what will happen? It will throw an error whenever it got a duplicate value or null value. Whenever my constraint has a not null constraint, whenever my column is assigned with a constraint not null, it will throw me an error whenever it finds a null value in a column. And for check, it will check the condition and it will throw me an error. So that's it. This is what you need to understand when it comes to constraints. Thank you.